Hello,
Hey!
everyone. Sorry about that delay. Technical difficulties, of course. But here we are, and welcome to our stream, Glitchhikers, the Spaces Between Journey to the Terminal. My name is Lucas J.W. Johnson. I use he, him pronouns. I am the studio director of Silverstring Media and the producer and writer on our upcoming game, Glitchhikers, the Spaces Between. Kieran.
Hi! My name is Kieran Strange. I was a musician solely. I have fallen. I've stumbled accidentally into the world of voice acting, which I love. It is so much fun. And I actually knew some of Lucas's team from back in Vancouver, my Vancouver days. So I'm super excited to be part of this game and to be here today with you because I haven't streamed in a really long time. But yeah, no, I had a playthrough of this game and it kind of blew my mind, so I'm really excited about this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kieran. And Kieran did do some voice acting for Glitchhikers, the Spaces Between, which we're going to experience today. We're here today for the first reveal of our fourth type of journey, the Terminal. But first, I wanted to take some time for those of you browsing Steam who don't know about it to talk about what Glitchhikers is. So, Kieran, you mentioned you've had a chance to play a little bit of the game. How would you describe Glitchhikers to someone who knows nothing about it?
Oh my gosh. It's one of those games that you can either play in like a small group or by yourself or like on a stream. But it's very introspective. It's very humble without being small. It's like a very it's an experience, man. It's I'm having a hard time explaining it. I'm really sorry. It's like you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean when I get there. But it's something that I wasn't expecting. Like I had an idea of what to expect from the first game, but I wasn't anticipating how big the world has become. If you've played the first Glitchhikers, anybody out there, they've definitely taken that and just rolled with it. The character design is fantastic. The graphics are fantastic. It's a bit of an experience.
Experience is yeah, a very good word for it, I think. So Glitchhikers was really born from the goal of trying to recreate the experience of long late night journeys. These are the stretches of time when you're driving on a lonely highway in the middle of the night, or slowly dozing off on that last commuter train of the day, when you are, in between places in this no man's land of neither here nor there, and your mind is wandering to strange ideas and big questions. So Glitchhikers presents you with 4 different journeys you can go on: a late night highway drive, a train ride, a midnight walk through a park, and, being revealed for the first time here today, wandering an airport terminal where all the flights have been delayed. Each journey, yes, yeah, been there. Each journey is accompanied by experimental music and sometimes eerie voiceover, and you will encounter various other characters on their own journeys to share ideas with and ask those big questions. Each journey playthrough is around half an hour in length, and each time you play, it will be different. There are over a dozen different characters to meet, and the game has a total of over 50 unique conversations across all of the journeys. So there's lots of content to experience and sort of these little bite-sized moments when you can, just let yourself go and relax and be in this sort of other space for a little bit. There's no winning or losing. There's no wrong answers. There's no goal in Glitchhikers other than to have an experience, whatever that experience might be, as Kieran sort of alluded to.
I'm Karen in the chat. That's hilarious.
Oh no!
Thanks. Thank you.
Kieran, Google. It's Kieran.
Google. Here in
Nope,
Google,
here
it's
in Google.
Kieran. There we go.
Yeah. So Glitchhikers is designed to be a very personal experience. How you are feeling as you play matters as much as what we put in the game. So rather than have me or the other developers play through the terminal journey to show it off today, we wanted to bring Kieran in to show off an authentic experience of the game, or as authentic as we could present. So as we play, if anyone watching has any questions, please do drop them in chat. We'll answer as many as we can. And if you like what you see, please wishlist us and follow Silverstring Media on Twitter for updates. But with that, do you want to jump in, Kieran?
I do. Let's freaking do this. So I played through the drive, and that blew my mind. And then we did have a look at the airport, and that blew my mind too. But that's where I want to go back to, is that airport.
Your dog is also very
My
excited
dog
for
is
this.
so. Are you so excited, Charlie? Are you so excited? This is my foster dog here. We're training him to be a service dog. Bless his little heart.
Amazing.
So this is the first screen when you
Yeah,
you
can
load.
you change over on OBS?
Oh, you know what? I certainly can. There we go.
Look
I
at
am an
that.
adult and I can do this. Oh man. Okay, so this is where when you load the game, this is where you show up. And I, of course, being me, took like 5 seconds to just look at the graphics, because oh my gosh, the trees blow my mind. They're so cool but so simple. I'm super into it. And
We had a lot of fun with that low poly look. Not true
really
low
cool.
poly, but just that little bit of abstraction to it.
Suggestively low poly.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we go into the shop or should we go straight to the airport? Where should we go?
Yeah, we can check out the shop. If you want to
I
show it
wanted to show off the shop. It's so cool. So you basically control how you move by clicking into these wee circles. And I like this fella. He's got dreams, this guy. Oh, and wasn't there something really cool about the fridges?
Yeah. So the fridges, the cool zone that the clerk is referencing right now, is sort of our record of your gameplay. So I mentioned there are about 16 unique hikers in the game, unique characters that you can meet across the 4 different journeys. And as you encounter them in those different journeys, sort of a record of that encounter will appear in the fridge.
Ooh. Okay, let's go check that out. Thank you for your help. All right, this blew my mind. I had so much fun with this. So, if you open the fridge, you can pull out the little cans, and that's the little blokey we just spoke to. Look at him. That's so cool. So it's almost like a trophy chest.
Exactly.
In a way.
Or like a Pokédex of some kind.
Yeah, totally. Totally. No, that I had to show that off because that blew my mind when I saw it. I spent like 5 minutes just being super excited. Hey, hi Siren, how you doing? Siren? I never know how to pronounce your name. I know you're just a 6, so I'll go with 6. So yeah, this is almost like the loading screen where you can kind of pick which journey you want to go on. We are going to go to the airport though. Look at that. This feels very real.
Bus.
Waiting for the bus feels like painfully real. I love this game because it's very low-key.
The anxious desire to loop back and double-check is something
And there's your
powerful.
lovely voice.
It allows us to learn, to discover, to corroborate. But there can be a cost when new experiences are forsaken in favor of compulsive repetition. Missed opportunities, moments unseen, key parts of your world lost, out of focus.
So the cool thing about
We
this as well is
explore
it shows you
further
where you've
what we
been.
already know. Such exploration may seem
Nice little
safer
visual
because we already know what
Bonus
to
to the
expect,
airport.
or more helpful because it builds upon a familiar foundation.
Lecturing
But
myself.
to truly understand anything takes time and the wisdom of multiple perspectives.
All right,
If
I'm
you
gonna
lack
get used
guidance,
to being back on my. There we
seek
go.
out the wisdom of others. If you are on this journey alone, then it is you who will have to move. Transport yourself. Grow. Fly deftly around obstacles and seek out new versions of yourself. Ones with the wisdom and vision you require. Sometimes, all a breakthrough requires is to take a path you've never taken before.
So all of Glitchhikers is a little bit sort of meditative. It's meant to be introspective in a lot of ways, and with this journey, we wanted to take that in a bit of a different direction and really lean into that sort of guided meditation aspect. And so, every time you start, you get this little bit of an intro from the newscasters on the TVs to sort of help bring you into that meditative mindset. And then you're sort of able to just explore the terminal, at your whim.
At our leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Can I help you? Why is he so cute? Oh, hang on. Now you mentioned around the airport we will meet hikers, and I've never met this one before. Kind of little hedgehog fella here. Should we talk or should we run around for a bit?
We can talk now.
Let's talk now. All right. So when you meet people, you get to have a conversation with them, and it's really cool because it's almost a little bit like RPG-like or Choose Your Own Adventure, and the replayability because of that is fantastic.
Now, do you want to read or do you want me to read, Kieran?
Why don't I read this one and you grab the next one? Because I'm really into this guy's hedgehog face. So, oh hey there! I was just thinking that I should try to get some work done. You know that happens to me every time I travel. I know I'm gonna have to get all this time. I know I'm gonna have all this time in the airport and sitting on a plane. So, I plan to get so much done, to be so productive. Oh my God, it's Kit. It's my manager. And then inevitably, I wind up distracted or unable to focus, or just let my mind wander. And then we get a choice. Working on, me too, shouldn't work. I'll ask him what he's working on. Right now I'm helping map someone's dreamscape. I end up bringing all these things with me, and instead I just kind of sit. Maybe talk to the plane, or listen to the gossip of the airstreams over the wings. Listen to the stories the lost baggage have to tell. Look out the window and watch the map of the landscape move beneath me. God, that's a mood. Or more than that, I just sit and think. My mind wanders, bouncing between thoughts, the past and the future. Latching onto things and pulling up vivid images like a song or a smell can suddenly trigger some long-distant memory. And I like that a lot of the answers are, there's one that's typically sort of, there's a lot of sort of like more to the point, or like ones that are more introspective, or ones that are a little more oblivious. So it's definitely like personalized.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we had enough of a range of responses that everyone playing could find something sort of somewhat close to how they might want to respond, and giving that breadth.
Totally. I'll ask him what his point is. In thinking about the past, I wonder how things could have gone differently. Would I have been happier? Would I be a different person? Okay, that messes me up. I don't like the butterfly effect. I'm just gonna say. No, it doesn't make sense. Oh, and I've noticed this something that was different from the drive with this is you can go back to answers as well. So like it's like each answer is like a tree. And then as you answer it, another answer may appear in that space, but you've still got the initial, like you can kind of go back sometimes to some of the other answers if you wanted to answer with two different things.
Yeah.
That makes any sense?
Each journey has elements of sort of the design that are a bit different. So the music is a bit different in each journey, which we can talk about. The VO is a bit different, how it works, and you know how you move around the space is different. You know, in the drive and in some of our other journeys, it's quite limited how you move. And in the airport, as you will have seen so far, it's actually very open. It's sort of like a first-person walking sim type thing. You can go anywhere. And so that also extended to how we wanted to write the dialogue. So the airport has this sort of meditative, almost purgatorial sense to it in some ways.
Yeah.
And so we wanted that to be part of the dialogue too, where you could kind of loop back to the same things multiple times until you wanted to sort of move on with the conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it's. I'm very into it. I mean, I've only checked out a couple of them, but the airport moving, the way you can move around the airport is really fascinating. I'm really into it. We're gonna have some fun in a sec with it here. Like a waking dream, perhaps, a subconscious connections turned over by a mind trying to sort and store information. It's like my mind forces me to rest, like it needs these times to explore itself. Does that happen to you? Oh my god, like all the time. Sometimes I try to just sit there, especially in airports. And he's right, dude. I show up and I have all this work. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. And I end up just sitting there and people watching. And that was one thing that actually, like, about this level that really messed me up was how real it does feel. Because I've been, like, either in an airport that's quiet and delayed, or like during those red eyes, like where the airport is like entirely empty. I get too stressed when I travel to relax. Sitting and thinking is too boring. Yeah, no, I'm the same as you, buddy. We have to let it happen when it does. Remember that work will still be there, and in the meantime, we can use the rest. That's too deep. You know, as much as I approach it all with this desire to get something accomplished, I think these pauses in activity, these moments when we're allowed to step away from life, are important too. Maybe more important. In these spaces, the journeys where time seems to move differently, where we're not where we came from. Not where we come from, but also not yet at our destination. We're removed from our normal world, our normal ideas of what needs to be done. Do you know what's fascinating is when I was a kid, I much preferred the journey. You know, like we'd be going to like a theme park or something, but I enjoyed the part where we were on the bus.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like,
I love the long drives or the the airplane trips.
Yeah, it's fascinating because the journey itself, like we kind of overlook it, but it's such a cool space mentally to be in. And we can wander through our minds as we do through space, gain some mental rest, remove from the demands of normal life, force stillness, even as we move endlessly forward. These conversations we have do the same thing, a moment away from our normal lives. A moment to let our minds wander, to consider where we are. Are you willing to let your mind go, to be in this space with me, to try something? Sure, why not? Let's do it, son. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. Y'all at home can do this too. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to just sit. Not think about anything in particular. Let your mind wander. Come back to me when you're ready. Or in like 10 seconds. Have a think. Where's the first place your mind goes? When you just turn it off. Alright, tell me, what did you think about?
So there's a lot of options here because you can hit more to get more selections.
Oh. Friends, love on the future, something in the past. Oh, damn, there are a lot. Childhood, those who have passed on. What did y'all think about? Unfortunately, my brain will typically go back to work. Oh my goodness, there are so many answers. Will it loop round if I keep going?
Yeah.
Brilliant, let's have a look. Music, infinity, nothing, a lot of things. Sometimes I do like try to sit and think and my brain like will literally just play a song. It's like Homer Simpson with the monkey going around. I typically sadly think about music, my work, or the state of the world.
Especially these days, huh?
Yes, that's been it's horrifying, but it gives us all a chance to really think about our privilege and where we are, which is the fact that we can be sitting here today, like not to interrupt the stream, but the fact that we can just be sitting here streaming and not have to worry about leaving our house in a few seconds. It's been a deep one. All right, we feel
like
despair.
He says. Mm-hmm.
We feel despair, we feel hope, we know it can be better, and we cherish what we do have. Yeah, like, there you go. I didn't read it, but I said the same thing. It's very true. Our minds are wondrous and complex things, the thing that knows itself unknowable, and so we let it explore itself, explore ourselves, explore our lives and our pasts and what may come. It's important to let it wander. You know what? I agree. It is important. Wander on, friends. It is so important to let your minds wander. I like the character design too. I feel like it's interesting without being too much.
Flow being interrupted
We had a lot of
by
fun with our character
undesired
design
thoughts,
process and our
feelings,
concept
or
artist, Anna.
sensations.
It's amazing
okay.
work.
And if you
Just
grab those
slowly,
things, I forgot, they speed you up.
kindly and gently
Yeah, so
bring
as I
your
mentioned, this one is a little
focus
more
back to the
sort of
flow.
free
Back
form
to
in
the
your ability to move
sensation
around, and part of the sort of
moving
meditative
through this.
aspect that we wanted to bring in, I guess I shouldn't talk over your voice, huh? Part of the meditative aspect that we wanted to bring in was also the idea of flow that you get in video games a lot, right? Just like, I just want to move around this space and like jump off obstacles and do a little, Tony Hawk Pro Skater around the space and enjoy that. And there's a meditativeness to that as well as just sort of, sitting still. And yes, in the airport, even though you have missed your flight, you can fly.
You can fly! And I loved this. I loved this. Look at this. I'm flying. And one thing I love about flying is you can really appreciate the build. Don't know if anyone's tuning in from the UK, but it almost reminds me of a way cooler version of the Millennium Dome.
Nice. Yeah, we had a lot of fun and a lot of time playing around with the look of the airport. And, yeah, our creative director, Clarice, and who's watching the stream right now.
Hi, Clarice!
Our technical artist, Bill,
top of this.
did some absolutely amazing work in this design.
Ooh. I'm on the thing! I'm on the thing! I can see my house from here, Ma! So yeah, it gives you a lot of like freedom to just move and explore the space. Whee! And I'm really into that. I'm into games that allow you to be a little meta, that aren't scared to allow you to be a badass. So, once you complete I think with the airport you were saying that the first time it's a little bit more of a guided meditation.
Yeah. The first time you play the airport, we wanted to sort of walk you through it a little bit more because it is quite different from the other journeys in a lot of ways. This sort of freeform exploration. So the first time you play the airport, you do not fly, but you can walk around and explore and jump. And there's sort of a very specific sort of guided path, a guided meditation that you follow as Kieran's wonderful voice acting guides you through. And then that sort of completes, and you have this full journey in itself, but then when you come back to the airport, it now unlocks this much more free form. You can fly, you can go wherever you want. There's some areas of the place that unlock that you couldn't get to before. So there's sort of lots to do and lots to see, but part of that freeform is that there are 4 to 6 characters in this space that are just sort of scattered around like that first one was, and part of it is just sort of exploring and finding them and stumbling across them and that kind of thing. So
which again in
keep your eye out
itself
for the others.
Is strangely real, because I've been in an airport with a delayed flight and you just kind of wander because there's nothing else to do. Mm-hmm. And you'll meet people and you'll have conversations. There was a guy on the last flight I went to and he had this adorable little French bulldog with him. And bless his heart, he that dog did not know how to travel.
Oh, no.
He was trying his best. But he was not well versed in traveling. And what I love is that because of this, I am the kind of person, if anyone has ever watched me play Borderlands or any other game that has like a larger map on it, I will get lost. I will constantly get lost. So having the line following me so I know where I've been is actually relatively useful as a tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about these little ghosts that I keep seeing.
Yeah, so we wanted to give that sense of, that there was some life in here, that there was some activity, right? Like you said, it's, if there's a bunch of delayed flights, you're not actually alone in the airport, no matter how late it is, right? There's other people that are also stuck there. Yeah. But we also wanted it to have this empty feeling and not have hundreds and hundreds of people that you could talk to or whatever. Right. And so it's this sense that it's inhabited, but that you can't just interact with anyone. Part of that is in the Drive journey, which was sort of based on a project that we made about 8 years ago now, which was sort of the genesis of Glitchhikers. We have other cars on the highway occasionally, not many of them.
We choose to ignore so many things in our day to day.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Choose what you pay attention to. Choose how
there are other cars on the highway, but you can
them.
never pass them. You can never catch up to them. They exist as sort of ghosts out there that give this sense of, there's other people here, but ultimately you are sort of alone on this journey. This is a very personal journey.
Yeah, which honestly, I think that was one of the parts that kind of blew my mind from an esoteric philosophical standpoint. Is it's a really good way of representing how you do feel in an airport, or while you're traveling, where at a distance you'll notice someone and they'll be somewhat sort of interesting and you'll kind of be like, oh, there's a person there. But the closer you get, the more you start to just sort of focus on your own, what you're doing, and they just sort of disappear around you a lot of the time. I found it a really good way of representing that, the idea of people, as you move around them or near them or past them, they fade out of your own sort of existence.
That's awesome. I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Oh.
So there's little things too. So since you're here, I wanted to also take the chance to talk about the music. Our stream on Thursday, Claris and our composer Devin talked a lot about the music in the game. And in the airport, all of the music that you're hearing or a lot of it is essentially procedurally generated. So there's sort of backing tracks that happen, but there are elements that come in and out depending on, are you moving or not? How fast are you moving?
Like, I think when I started flying or something at one point, or I was double jumping, like you were mentioning, the music was changing.
Yeah,
as
so
I was
when you
doing
jump,
it.
there's a bit of a tape delay. When you're flying, different elements of the music come in. As you approach different characters, they have little bits of melody that come in and out. And so then there's also these little things scattered all around the airport that you can interact with that add something to the music. So if you look at it and click on it, it brings another element into the fabric of the music.
Oh, that's so cool! And one thing I noticed actually as I left my screen on idle as well, not to interrupt, because I've never noticed this before. I left my screen on idle. Let me do it again. And when I did that, I'll set it up nicely. There we go. When I did this, I noticed that when the character blinked, when I blinked, I saw like a mental image of where one of the hikers actually was. So is it almost like, is it hinting for me? Like if you're lost, like if you kind of sit on your screen, it'll give you like a hint, or?
It's basically sort of screensaver-esque. So here we go. We have a number of different areas around the airport that it'll flash to between blinks, almost like a security camera feed or something. But it's a way to, again, let you just sort of sit and experience the space without even needing to move through it yourself to some extent, right? It maybe shows you an area that you haven't seen before, but you can just sort of sit and not have to worry, right? Like if you have really good music playing because you're close to a particular hiker and you like clicked on a couple of those things and you're like, this is cool, I just want to chill for a minute. You can, and rather than it just not doing anything, it's going to give you this little bit of a screensaver type element. Again, like for all of the journeys, we wanted to make sure that you had that space to just sit and enjoy the space without needing to engage.
It's almost like visual lo-fi as well as the sound. Like it's very like introspective and very internal, and it allows you to just sort of sit and absorb. Like if you've had a really interesting thought, to just sit and absorb it and not what's the word, not lose it immediately because you have to jump back into gameplay. Yeah, so it reminds me of the Endless Drive?
Yes, yeah.
Which
yeah,
I
so we
thought
have
was so cool.
Yeah, we have an infinite drive mode,
that's it.
So that you can just sort of get in the car and drive and see the landscape go past and listen to music and not interact. It's sort of just a chill simulator. We have folks on the team that will just put that on in the background while they're working.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like while I'm drawing or doing something else, like doing my admin work, it's kind of one of those things that you can just have on in the background and have it, and the mood of it is very, it's like have you ever go to Brain FM? It's like Brain FM, where it's like just sounds that they reckon that sounds like this and this level of music and this level of absorption of just pretty things that are full of low-key information wake your brain up for studying, and that's where like lo-fi beats to study to, right? It's like it opens your mind up a bit more.
Yes, exactly.
So I found this one just by looking at the screenshots. I saw that this little fellow was over here, and I saw that. So I did find one through. So it is in real time.
Perfect.
You're seeing what that is. So
yeah,
cool.
You're seeing what's actually happening in the space.
I met this little one when I did the drive.
Yes.
I remember they were rather morbid, and I was into it. Do you want to do the read for this one?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
5 stars circle pulled ever inward, lashes of plasma pulled off into the vortex. Worlds crumble, the maelstrom felt across the void, dimensions collapsing in shock.
Good to meet you too.
The future calls. It's all we have to look forward to. It's all that matters.
Ooh, what about the present?
Like that.
Yeah.
It is but a blink of time. It too quickly becomes the past. We look ever forward to what is the next moment, to the future.
Damn.
People will become mired in what no longer matters, stuck in the past, painting it with nostalgia. Kill the past. Look only to the future.
That seems extreme.
It is what's necessary. Nostalgia. It is poison, trying to make the past better than it truly was. Lies we tell ourselves. No, only the future can be made better.
Did something happen? Are you okay? Do you need a hug? Like, I think we can learn from the past is a very apt one for right now.
I don't want to. Doorways will open to new worlds, paths to new dooms and new salvations. Energies flow from dimensions unseen as stars converge. I must look to the future. I must return.
Baby.
So this character, you can, if you want to just let him go and do his own thing, you can, or you can ask him to continue the conversation to delve a little deeper.
That's sweet.
I don't want. Perhaps I can linger a moment longer.
Sweet baby.
We cannot change the past, no matter how we try to paint it. So only the future matters.
Ah, yeah, and then we're back to. Don't you see doom in the future?
But it is all we have. It is the path forward on our journeys. There is conservatism inherent in nostalgia, yearning for a time that we paint in golden light to hide its imperfections, its problems, its mistakes.
I feel like as we meet these hikers, they're like different parts. Like, I feel like, okay. I feel like they're like tarot cards in a way. Like, you know how I've met some people who read tarot, and they've said to me that the cards aren't necessarily a way of telling the future, but of forcing you to look like a mirror. Like, so you have to look and see certain things in your life that you might be ignoring. And I feel like these hikers are really similar. Like, they make you look at different parts of yourself. So I definitely hate the word, but like triggered by this guy. Cause like, he makes me think of parts of me that I don't like the fear of the past and the fear of the future and the present. And it's very interesting. It can become, like you said, very personal, very, very, very quickly.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Kieran, because that is very much sort of what we were aiming for. Clarice, our creative director and my business partner, talks about it as digital divination. This idea of using the game or using these elements, just like tarot, to get you to look at different parts of yourself and different parts of your life. And each of the different hikers that you meet, each of the different characters has, particular themes that they tend to talk about. So you mentioned that when you played through the drive, you met this character who also had sort of this doom and gloom outlook of
very
sees
nihilistic.
the future and
yeah.
sees, yeah, for sure. And so as you encounter this character over different journeys, you can see different facets of that, and potentially see the characters grow a little bit, as well as as you sort of interact with them. So
which is true, because last time he was very doomy gloomy about the future, but he's almost become a little bit more like, well, you know what, like we've just got to move forward. Like, he's almost like more secure in what he's got to do, whereas before it was like, it's hard to explain, but it's like, sorry, it's like momentarily blowing my mind, but I'm so into it. Like, this little guy just he messes me up, man. We're
hopefully
PG-13. We're allowed one F-bomb, right? Okay, I'm gonna use it now. He fucks me up. Okay, it's a thing. All right, read the line, maestro.
Step through a doorway to a new future, but we will hesitate. We yearn for what we had, even as what we had crumbles, even as it betrays its inequities. It worked for us. Why must we change? We must reject that. Clear our sight. Reject nostalgia. Look to the future.
I think that's definitely a poignant one. We must strive for a better future.
Forget the past. Doors will close, energies shut off, stars collide, and home is lost. My vision calls me onward. I have lingered too long in the past already.
Okay, goodbye. That's the move.
Just let me move forward. Move on.
Oh, bless his little heart. Yeah, I feel like the music definitely changed while I was near him, if that makes sense. Like while we were...
Yep.
Was that a thing? Yeah. Wow.
Every hiker has its own little melody that gets added into the mix of the music as you approach them.
That is...
I think there's another hiker over here that you saw on camera.
I was going to say, yeah. I saw one that was like on a chair. Do not judge the movement by my terrible gameplay. I am a console peasant, so learning how to use W, A, S, and D is just killing me. But I need to, because so many good games now are available, and so many indie games are available on Steam that I need to learn. Oh, that's me again.
And this game is playable with controller. We
no
have
matter
full controller
what
compatibility
storms
as well,
rage
so.
overhead.
That's
those
another
of you
thing
who
I
are
was considering
considering
this.
Weather is the expression of that balance.
And I'm being attacked by a cat.
I love... So this one was more of a witchy one. And you said she has like 3 different...
Yeah, she's got a few different familiars there.
I love it. Trying to... Are those familiars, or is that part of her pants?
Those are some of the familiars, yep. Just 2 little triangles and stuff.
Is this a doggy? Oh, hello, you're a doggy. In my youth, before I discovered how to use my craft to cross great distances, I spent much time in airports such as this. I was fortunate given the gift of travel from an early age. Ever since then, spaces such as these have, I read for a living, deeply resonated with me. There is a resonance to all things. Waves we surf that touch other waves impact other places. These processes intensify some aspects and mute others before coming together to create a fuller whole. By the way, have you surfed the waves and curves around this place? There are some great ramps to slide down, gain some momentum. Oh, we need to play around with that. Are you a surfer? I dislike airports. I get motion sick. Ah, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, take it easy then. Some of the other journeys around here might be more your speed, but hopefully a nice quiet wander around here can be nice too. Resonance can apply to so many things, whether literal or metaphorical. Architecture and space, sound and music, stories and narrative. Humming a note. Tell me more about space. Tell me more about sound. Tell me stories. Well, it's gotta be sound. Physical resonance is all about how waves of force bounce and reverberate to play off each other. For me, that always comes back to sound. In audio design, you're often shaping sound with filters, sometimes cutting things off so only certain parts of the spectrum remain. Oh god, right? But when you do, you also have the option to amplify the part of the sound wave nearest to the filter's edge. In this way, what almost gets cut off but survives is amplified to create beautiful sonic texture. Destruction and construction happening at once. Ooh. Let's do that one. That's very poignant for today. In people, it can also create trauma. Through healing, even that can be made beautiful. There will always be transformation. Resonance in storytelling, of course, is about trying to create or shape waves of meaning and experience that will impact the audience's body and mind. The words or ideas resonating with something inside of you, bouncing around in your mind and your heart long after you finish the story. An idea is presented early in the story, then partway through another, then a third, all building structure around something profound. Then, at the climax or conclusion, a final thought, and like a harmonic chord, all the previous ideas ring out again, bring it all together. It's so true. Resonance is a way to understand how stories impact us so much, even when they don't happen to us. Not all stories.
Hashtag.
Hashtag not all stories. And thus, let us resonate with each other too. Resonance is a physical mechanism around how waves of sound are shaped, honed, or filtered by their travels through spaces. And the same can be said of us, a metaphysical mechanism around how waves of influence are shaped, honed, or filtered. Ideas, culture, even our own understanding of our own selves are shaped by the spaces we travel through, by the structures built around us that we accept or try to break through. And if we are lucky, we find something in this world that truly resonates with us. All of her notes come together. What do you most resonate with? Art, music, stories, people, like everything. Oh, that's so hard. And this is one of those moments where, like, if I were to find her again, I could choose a different one.
Absolutely. Depending, on whether you just want to see something different, or maybe it's just how you're feeling that day.
You were saying it's like the changes. It's not just you personally. It's like it could totally change. Like, right now I'm definitely more drawn to people than I normally would be. Normally that would like be X'd out already. Like I typically are drawn to people. Oh gosh, I think it's got to be music for me. Ah yes, it tugs at my heartstrings too. I have played many instruments over the years, but my favorite by far is the bass guitar. Yes! Bass and drums are like my favorite instruments. And it is for the simple fact I can feel so clearly the resonance of the note, the reverberations of the wave through my body, blood and bones. Same reason I love the drums, man.
The past is not a place you can travel to. All you have is the present.
That's fair.
So since your VO came up again there, one thing that we did with you in recording was did 3 different characters reading a bunch of the VO. And so as you move around the airport, different areas of the airport show basically different channels on the TVs with different characters. And so depending on which area of the airport you're in, you'll hear a different voice saying a given line as you move around.
Oh, that's so cool. I do remember when we were recording, there were a lot of it was a lot of character focused lines, like each one of the 3, because we did 3. We did the newscaster, one that was a little more of a sort of very philosophical documentarian.
Yep.
And then one that was more of like a weather channel style of narration. And it was really fun because I loved how I got to kind of like play with the different sort of types of speaking, like the ways of speaking and the ways of interacting, because like if you listen to all those channels, they're always like the narrator or the host always has like a different method of talking and a different cadence and a different pacing. So that was really fun for us to get to play with. I really enjoyed that.
Well, and you did. I mean, it's a testament to your ability too to be able to do those 3 different voices, right? And we really wanted to make sure that they were differentiated enough that you could sort of tell who was speaking as you went around the airport. Even though, as you say, they sort of start off with very different sort of styles of speaking, because a newscaster is going to talk differently than a documentarian or whatever. But as you go through the airport, all of them become sort of a little more meditative, a little more about that sort of guided meditation, but still being able to differentiate them, right?
Yeah, we really went into that like guided meditation place. Because that's what you need when you're in this mental space. You don't suddenly want the newscaster to yell at you again.
Right.
So teach me how we're talking. One thing we were talking about was Tony Hawking our way around. Is there a methodology to this madness?
Yeah, so it's just getting used to the movement around the space. There's a few different things, like if you jump right as you hit the ground, you do a little like bunny hop that makes you jump a little bit higher the second time. But if you jump while you're still in midair, then you start flying. And when you first start flying, you get this little speed boost right away. There are a few ramps around. Anything that's sort of steeper than 45 degrees, I think, you will slide down, so you can get a little momentum. And then, of course, as you notice, those little speed boosts around that shoot you forward a little bit as well. But we found it fun just to jump around and fly around and
jump around, jump up,
and of course the moving sidewalks.
I like the moving sidewalks were included, like the little.
Oh yeah.
Because it
wouldn't be an airport without them. Exactly.
Oh, I can interact with this. That's so cool. It's almost like a. Oh yeah, listen to that. It's definitely a game for like if you're a chill streamer or you just appreciate. Oh, I'm trying to walk against it and it won't let me. If you're like a chill streamer or you're into like really chill games, it's one of those like
We only have a few minutes left here.
All right,
Sorry that we started a bit late, folks. But if anyone has any questions, there was one I saw. If the demo will still be available after Next Fest is over, yes, we're going to leave the demo up for a while at least, probably until game launch, if not if you past that. So that will still be available for you to check out. The demo does not include the airport, since this was our first reveal of it, but it does take you through a brief example of the rest of the journeys. But you'll be able to check out the airport when the full game comes out, which is sooner than you think. We are bringing excited. It out, so we're very excited about that.
Scan me, hands up. All right, so the one thing I wanted to show off before, if you want to show this off before,
we can show a brief little sneak peek, maybe.
Sneaky peek. So for reasons I will not discuss, because spoilers. The edge of the airport has this really beautiful space. And if you do end up getting the game, I just suggest maybe, just take a little running jump and maybe see what happens.
Do it, Kieran.
Do it, Kieran. Do it, Kieran.
The void.
All right, we're gonna go. Ah! We're going through the void. This is what the airport feels like to me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So fractured. It's a very spatially satisfying game.
Good.
And sometimes, I think last time I was out here, I found a hiker. Oh my gosh,
like
this is a hiker. I was expecting him to play a little note.
Well, as you check out that conversation, I'll just sort of wrap up with some last things. If you have enjoyed this, please wishlist us. We are coming out soon. We'll be having lots of announcements coming soon, so please follow us on Twitter, Silverstream Media on Twitter. Join the Fellow Traveler Discord. Fellow Travelers are publisher. They're wonderful folks, and if you have any questions for us, you can come into the Discord and ask there as well. We have 3 singles from our soundtrack. So the soundtrack for the game is going to be huge. I'm not going to talk about specifics yet, but it's lots and lots of music, lots and lots of amazing music. And we have 3 singles from that soundtrack that are already out now at our composer Devin Vibrant's Bandcamp, which I will post the link in the chat right now. If you want to check out those, but the full soundtrack will come out with the game as well. And starting this coming week, as we talked about a bit on our stream on Thursday, we're starting a Music Monday every week from now for the next couple months. We're going to be doing some music posts on Monday, so new music coming out and all sorts of fun stuff. So follow us on Twitter to check that out if you're interested.
I definitely recommend it. When I first heard about this game, when I was first auditioned for it, I had no idea what they were planning to do with it. Like, I just kind of went with it, but actually getting to explore this game, the drive was so realistic. Like, it was so meditative for me because I love my long drives. I'm really excited to check out the walk through the park and the train because I love traveling on the Amtrak. It's very bizarre how polygons and pixels can look like this but still take you to a place that you know. I can't recommend it enough, like, not just because I'm in it, but like, but no, seriously, please do check it out. It is such a fascinating, fantastic little game, like, definitely very unique. What an experience.
Thank you, Kieran. I appreciate that.
Very, very, very cool.
It's been a very fun journey, if you will, to bring this together, and thank you everyone for joining us. I can't wait for the game to come out and you all see it, but do check out the demo now during Steam Next Fest or in the next few weeks, and hope you enjoy. Let us know if you have any questions, and thanks so much for coming, and thank you, Kieran, for playing through with us today.
It's been so much fun. Thank you so much. I have had such a blast. I'm probably going to be streaming this game because it's so chill and it's got such a good vibe, and I feel like there's a lot of explodey games out there right now. Every now and then you need to bring it back down and just enjoy a little bit of something.
Especially these days. If you can, if you have anything to spare, if you can donate to any of the relief efforts in Ukraine or transport efforts in Texas. There's lots of bad happening in the world right now, but hopefully Glitchhikers can be a place for people to have a little time to themselves, to reflect, to find a little peace with themselves and with the world. And if we can help just a little bit, then everything will have been worth it for the development of Glitchhikers. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.
Have a good one, y'all.